Hello everybody, this is Adrienne with Ascension Soul Coaching. Today is September the 28th, 2023. I want to follow up with you all regarding a reading I did just the other day about the 23rd of September and throughout the week of the 28th. And today is the 28th. And what we've discovered this week is that Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, was on a plane that had cocaine on it. And no one's talking about it. And the other thing that happened to Justin Trudeau is that one of Justin's ministers invited a Nazi wartime criminal to a meeting, a session, and had everybody in the audience stand up and give this guy a standing ovation. He claims he did not know that this guy was a Nazi. Justin stood up later to address the nation and say that he had nothing to do with it. The minister is gone, he has resigned, and it was all his fault. Nothing, no blame for him. And it's interesting that a prime minister would stand up and at least not take some accountability or just not blame somebody, just say it was an unfortunate event. He has stepped down. We're sorry to see him go, but it was, I'm sure it was just a mistake. He said, no, it's his fault, and I had nothing to do with it. So people in Canada are asking for, wait for it, Justin Trudeau to resign. So I told you there was going to be a hint of leadership change this week. Now, is he gonna resign, y'all? I doubt it. So let's just do a reading on him, and I'm also going to do a reading on Biden because it's important to understand what's happening with Biden as well. This is an impeachment inquiry, people. So it seems like every time a new president comes in office lately, they all get hints of impeachment. But I don't know. Let's go to read and see if there's any validity to what they're saying about Biden. So first we're going to read on Trudeau and see what happens. I'm going to use my Tarot Oppositions card. What I pulled out for Justin is this first card here, which is the Ace of Cups. So the Tarot Oppositions, you're going to have two sides to one card. It came up right side up. So there's new opportunities going on for Justin. See, the thing is with Justin is as long as he does what they tell him to do, he's going to be fine. He's going to be covered. So, but why are they covering him and what's going to happen to him because of these stories that's coming out? Once he's just announced he's getting a divorce from his wife. Now they're finding cocaine on the plane. And this faux pas with the Nazi war criminal. And now Poland is asking for the guy to be sent back to Poland to be indicted and tried for his crimes of putting many people to death during the World War II, during the reign of the Nazis. So the second card I put up for Justin was the Seven of Wands. And it was the reverse side. Okay, so what this is saying to me is that Justin has some issues going on here. He's overburdened himself. He's overstressed out himself. He has to make some decisions about what's going on with his life. He's going to have to choose sides. Is he going to the detriment of his health and his mental security? Is he going to continue on this path? Because he is going down a very dangerous path in his mind. Everything's falling apart. So he's gained the world. He's gained a position. He's doing what the WEF and the UN is telling him to do. Whoever his backers are, the elites. But it's losing his soul. And it's a lot of strain. It's a lot of partying probably too. But there's a lot of lost soul and morals and values that's been lost over the past few years. That he's been in control. That he's been with them before he became a prime minister. That's how he became prime minister. Who he was, his allegiance were to. In my opinion, Canadians supposedly voted for him, but, you know, dig deeper. And so, but now that things are coming to fruition, the people calling him and pulling on him is a very hard strain on him. And so the wife divorcing him and the humiliation of that has weighed on him. And there probably was, cocaine going on all along. And she couldn't take it no more. And probably some other little things too. But now you got these other faux pas that's happening and people are more and more disenfranchised with Justin that it does weigh on your spirit. It weighs on your soul. And so he's having a hard time dealing with this, y'all. What's going on in his life right now. A tough way to roll. And he's struggling mentally with this. So there may be some new opportunities coming up for him where they are going to move him into another role eventually. You're not going to be prime minister, but for so long, I don't know what the years are over there, but he could be moving into another role within the UN or the WEF or or some other role eventually, where he is going to be utilized in another way, where he doesn't have as much stress, but just as much influence. We're going to stay and watch that, okay, over the next year or so and see if that's what's going to happen, because that's what I'm seeing. He's struggling, very much so. And now we're going to move on to President Biden's impeachment hearing that started today. So they're looking at the evidence to see if they have enough information to be able to move forward into a trial, okay? So if you don't know, the story behind this is that Biden's son, Hunter, was working for the Ukraine. He has no experience. He's a drug addict. He's a sex addict, all that stuff, right? But he was getting paid all this money every month from Ukraine and other people. And it came out when Trump was in office, because Trump was hinting at it during his impeachment trial. Isn't that interesting? That Hunter Biden, they need to check Hunter Biden, and need to check out what's going on with Joe Biden, because there's something going on there with the Ukraine. And isn't it amazing that after all that, we're still funding Ukraine? Anyway, so people were wanting to investigate why was Hunter getting $50,000 or whatever a month, with no experience in dealing with oil deals or anything. So it's come out that the impeachment committee have subpoenaed at least 2 bank wires that was made out to Hunter. One was for $250,000 and one was for $10,000, I believe. And the home address that was used on the wire was Joe Biden's home address. This was happening when Joe was still vice president, but he was running for president. Okay? So the issue was, did Joe know that his son was receiving this money, and why he was receiving this money from Ukraine and from Chinese associates? Joe was saying he knew nothing about it. He didn't think his son was doing anything wrong. He had a job. That's all he knew. But people are thinking Joe knew a lot more. He's embedded with him and his son with this deal to make fraudulent money or from these other countries illegally, right? Especially as he's the president of the United States. And at the minimum, they think that he is suppressing information that could help the case against Hunter. But of course, he's his father. He's going to try to do that. But when you're the president of the United States or the vice president of the United States, you need to do the best you can to be on the up and up. We don't need another Richard Nixon out here, okay? And I think we don't need another Trump, okay? We need people who are open, honest. I don't think we're ever going to get it. But Joe was supposed to be Honest Joe. That's what everybody thought about him. Honest Joe. He'd been in Congress for, 40 years, I think. And so everybody saw him as Uncle Honest Joe. And so there's issues. So the question I have today is whether or not this impeachment hearing is going to move forward. Okay, so I'm going to do, I pulled 2 cards with the same deck, the opposition tarot, and what I got was 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords is dealing with deceit, dishonesty, and fraud. And people see you as that. That's the card. Okay. So there was some dishonesty going on. What Joe was saying he knew and did not know. He is probably hiding some information. He did suppress some information. Now, whether or not he participated in what his son was doing, that's the $20,000 question, right? So the second card I pulled out was what was going to happen in this case, and what we got out is the 2 of Swords, and it was reversed. So it's just the opposite side of the card. So no matter what comes out, people are going to see Joe as his reputation is in shreds. Whether he wins the case or it doesn't go forward, people are going to still see that he had an impeachment hearing. His reputation is pretty much in tatters. Even before this, because people were saying that they thought Joe was too old to be running for office again. First of all, they thought he was too old to run in the first place. Now they see with all the bumbling and stumbling and stuff, his reputation is already between a rock and a hard place. And then this thing with Hunter, I think people are also going to say, you know what, we've had enough. And this country right now is like upside down anyway. And I don't think it's all of the effect of Biden, because Biden is answering to other people, just like Trump answered other people, just like Obama answered other people. He is not running the show. And he's just the face that wants to carry it forth. And they thought they could use to make everybody just believe in Joe. And so we would just follow Joe and everything would be great. And it's not that way. So they're not very happy with Joe on a lot of fronts. So they're not going to, the closer they get to the election, I believe that his reputation is going to be really much in question. And I don't believe that they're going to back him as much as they could for him to win. Like, he's going to go out and he's going to do his campaign, but they're not going to really back Joe because Joe is really old. And if you look at McConnell, who actually froze up, I don't know how old he is, I'm sure he is in his 80s, froze up twice and doing, at the podium in the past couple of months, asking questions, and he just froze and couldn't answer the question, and people thought he was having a stroke up there. I think people are going to be very afraid to put Joe back in office this time. Does that mean that Trump is going to have a chance to win in 2024? I'm going to pull a card and let y'all know. One card for Trump. Does he really have a chance? Over 50% chance of winning the 2024 election. I want you all to know that. So we're going to pull a card, and the card came out. Let me read it. Four of Pentacles. And you see he's holding his money tightly in his hand. A little bird there. Okay, so what that says to me is that Trump is in it more for the money. Trump doesn't want to be president again. He's running out there telling everybody what they want to hear, that he's going to run again, and he's going to become president, and he's going to kick Biden out of office, and he's going to change all these laws and do all these things. He knows he has a huge following, and so he knows what to say to get people. He's a showman. He's a businessman. He's a con man. So he's telling people what they want to hear. And at this point, a lot of people are still, he's lost a lot of supporters, but he still has a lot of supporters. One thing he knows is about campaign finance, and that means that if he runs and he loses all the money that he's raised and he still has left over, he gets to keep. Because one of the things he knows also is that they're trying to run him out of money. They're trying, all these cases against Trump is because he didn't want to, he signed up for the elite, he became president, they thought he was going to carry out some things that they wanted. He didn't carry out everything. He started to go against them, and they took him out of office. I think that's what he knows. That's my opinion, but that's why I think he's so sure he lost the elections, because he knew he was taken out of the race because he wasn't following orders. Now they've impeached him twice, and they're taking him to court for every little thing they can find. They're trying to run him out of money because that's the only thing he can claim. His claim to claim is he's a real estate mogul who has all this money. He knows how to outsmart everybody regarding finances. So the one thing he can do is to run for office, raise money, and then when he loses, because he doesn't want to be president anymore, he's too old. He's not old like Biden is old. He's old like, I'm tired of this. I've been there, done it. I'm ready to move on, kind of thing. He wants the money. So this card, Four of Pentacles, he's stingy. He wants his money back. He wants his money that they're trying to run him out of. And he's going to find every little way he can figure out how to keep his money and keep his legacy and his wealth intact for him and his children. So he's talking, this is a little bird, but his talk is all about money. It ain't about being president. He's just telling people what they want to hear. He's always been a charlatan, y'all. Y'all just need to understand that. Does he have good ideas? Yeah. Do I wish he had done some of the things he said he was going to do? Sure. But when he went to the WEF in 2020 and spoke about American nationalism, and you know the WEF is about socialism, and Charles Schwab had to come and say, okay, Trump, that's fine what you said, but we're here are about oneness. He had to put Trump in his place, and Trump still didn't know he had been put in his place, and it went downhill from there. Okay, that is my opinion, but you need to go look at that video where he actually spoke at the WEF in 2020, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He was not talking the same language they were talking, and they wanted him to talk. And he was proud of himself, too, that he was talking about American nationalism on the stage when they were talking about one world stuff. Okay, so Trump, no, they're not going to back Trump. They're trying to run Trump into the ground with his finances. And Trump knows that, okay, I'm going to beat y'all at your own game because I know if I run for president, I can keep a lot of money. I'm not going to do all these speeches for you all. I'm not going to go do these debates. I'm not going to spend my money on all that stuff. I'm just going to go speak like I speak and raise money. I'm going to do it as a speaking engagement. Every time I go out and speak to the group of people who are my supporters, I know I'm going to make money, and they're going to donate to my campaign because they believe in me. And when it's done and over, I'm going to hopefully not win because I really want the money. So we've got a lot of things going on, y'all, in the next couple of months. I mean, this month is an interesting month with Trudeau and his issues coming out, and then we got the impeachment, and now there's other things coming out, people. This is not the end of it. It's a lot of time. Right now, it's a time of change and flux. Next year is a huge election year for a world leader, which is definitely America. I don't know about Canada, but I do know about America. And so people have been put in place and being funded and supported to make moves in 2024. We need to be aware of what they're doing. We need to stop putting our head in the sand and come out and think about what they're saying. Dig deeper, think ahead of what their plan could possibly be. And we need to come out in force, and we need to, if we don't like what's happening, we need to speak up. We need to show up, and we need to force change. You know, this is our job. We live in this world, and God gave us certain unalienable rights to freedom, the right to speak, the right to be free, the right to be happy and pursue happiness. So we need to, if you want it, you need to go out there and you need to get it. And we need to do it in a civil manner, but we got to use our smarts, and we've got to use the research, and we got to open our minds to not everybody out there that's in the office right now is there for your own good or our own good. And we need to weed them out, maybe, and get some new fresh blood in there, or parallel government. Some people are saying, I don't know, but we need to do something to tip the scales back to balance, because they're not in balance right now, not for the people of the world. Anyway, so that is my reading today. Stay tuned. I think that in the next week we have this pending government shutdown in America that's going to impact a lot of things. We know that one thing is they're trying to add on $300 million, at least $300 million more going to the Ukraine war, and they're attaching it to this budget and actually into the defense bill, okay, the defense portion of the bill, which is our military. And so they're trying to add that $300 million onto it. And a lot of senators and congressmen are saying, no, we're not going to continue to fund Ukraine like this. You know, American people are suffering, and why would we continue to send money over there? So, you know, a lot of things coming up, and then there's the potential that the first week of October, there could be a stock market crash. So be aware of that as well. Things are moving fast because there's a plan in place, and they want certain things to happen. CBDC, affordable housing, AI taking over jobs, changing the meat, changing the transportation system. They're changing a lot of things, and you're going to see a lot of things change from 2024 to 2027, because the plan that they have is supposed to be in place and working and fully operable by 2030. You got to understand that. If you understand that, you know what you need to start doing with your community, your family, your state, your city. Y'all need to be getting together talking about what you want and not just what they want. Anyway, that is my reading for the day. I hope you got something out of it. What do you think is going to happen with President Biden's impeachment hearing? What do you think is going to happen with Trudeau? Do you think it's going to come out that he really did have cocaine on his plane? And what do you think about Trump? You think is it only about money? Or do you think he really, really cares about the American people and wants to become president again? If y'all have not liked, please like and share this video. Please subscribe and share if you think it might help someone. I appreciate it. And you all have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Blessings.